I'm ready.
Muting. Hello. I think we are live. Welcome everyone. I'm
Hey,
I'm Daniel, obviously, and here we. Oh, wait, this side we have. Introduce yourself, Mark.
hey, it's Mark. How's it going?
So, this obviously is not Iron Harvest. Slight change of plans due to technical difficulties. We had been playing the game on Game Pass, but it seems to, at least temporarily, no longer be on Game Pass. That was not announced in any way, so I'm assuming it's a bug. But in the meantime, we're going to delve back to our previous episode of the Omnigamers Club, which we never did to stream, for Beyond the Sun.
Yeah, actually, it's been a little while since I played this, so that'll be fun.
I have played a couple of physical games with my neighbor, so which is quite fun to experience as well. I think when we recorded the podcast, we hadn't actually played the physical game yet. I mean, I think I'd mucked about with it as a like a demo. Sorry, as like a solo version, but that's not really an official module. It's just a someone like a fan made version on Board Game Geek. So, I think we have a few viewers out there. Welcome. I guess we could talk a little bit about what we've been playing. I should clarify. I hope everyone can actually hear Mark. We haven't streamed very often yet, so I'm not 100% sure on the technical side of things. So, if anyone's listening, please confirm that everyone can hear both of us.
Yeah, everyone say Russ Viet if you can hear me.
And we just lost viewers, so I don't think they're
Oh no,
I don't think they're Rustviet supporters.
not the favorite faction, I
The
guess.
Polonia supporters here. I think we'll just go with it for now until we get some feedback there. I'm not exactly sure how to even hang on. Let me just check audio mixer. Additional audio sources. If you could just talk for a second, Mark.
Okay,
And yep, there's
okay.
the lines are moving, so I think that's a good sign. That's about as good as we're gonna get.
I was gonna try
Cool.
and do the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I don't know those lyrics at all. That's the key part of it, though. That's the problem. You need to know the lyrics to do the
Well,
song.
can you do the dance though?
I think I might know the lyrics better than the dance move.
Actually, there is a sound check here, which I think is a new feature they've introduced, but it seems to be working as far as I can tell. Cool.
Nice.
So, what have you been playing lately, Mark?
Oh, I think not much since we recorded our episode, but I guess that's not out to the public yet. So
No.
that would be privileged information. Just kidding. What have I been playing? I've been playing Dishonored because I'm super
Ooh,
jealous
yep.
of everyone playing
Deathloop.
Deathloop. So I decided it's been long enough. I'm gonna play my Arcane back catalog, especially because that's on Game Pass. And I've like started Dishonored like twice on two separate occasions, like all the way back to 360 era. And I've been playing it on Xbox Cloud, and it runs super smooth. And I think I'm starting the last mission. I just finished the party, if you know that one.
I assume
That
this is the first Dishonored you're talking, right?
Dishonored number one, yeah.
Right. Okay.
By the way, I meant to ask: is the death of the outsider is that in between the two, or is it after part two?
Good question. I know it's completely standalone. It might be like a prequel or a side story. I have it installed, ready to go. I was thinking of starting that soon. But yeah, not sure where that fits into the chronology because I never played the DLC for the first one either. I've played both of them. And have had mixed feelings on them. I noticed I got there was a notification on Xbox when you were playing that it was a high chaos mode. So it seems like you're not doing too well on saving people there.
Well, I've been doing non-lethal high chaos. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm not killing anyone, but I'm leaving some bodies to be found. So I'm a bodyguard with a heart of gold, I guess.
I haven't played in a long time, but one of my main issues with the game, at least the first one, was that it seems like most of the fun abilities were in the lethal high chaos sort of mode, whereas if you're trying to be sneaky and non-lethal, the abilities aren't as fun. And it just
Um,
seems a little tedious, sort of taking everything so slowly.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I guess I'm a little like neurotic about those multiple ways to complete a mission games. Like it's reminding me of it's taking me right back to the original Deus Ex and stuff like that. I don't know if you played that one back in the day,
Hmm.
but I loved that game. And it's such retro game design, right? It's like instead of one path, let's lay out three paths, and you can find them all. You can find them all if you take the
That's
time.
the problem. I have to see everything. If there's content there, I have to see it, and then I just get burnt out from like scouring the map and
Yeah,
making sure I'm not lethal and scouring it for every collectible and every side thing, and then I get bored. So I don't have the
yeah,
self control to stop myself from
exactly.
doing that.
Yeah, that's why I burned out on the first two times. But this time around, I just stuck with it. And once you see through the game design, you can just enjoy the ride.
Mm.
So I've been enjoying it that regard. By the way, I took my first turn. If you're wondering.
Oh sure, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, I bounced off the second one, but Death of the Outsider seems like it's a slightly more concise, shorter experience. So I might have a better time with that. I think so. I'll try. I'll give that one more shot. I really enjoyed Prey for what it's worth, from made by
Yeah,
the same studio. So I've got mixed feelings. I mean, Prey does have. There's obviously a lot of different ways you can approach that game, but it is like the story is at least linear. So
got
you
it.
can explore along the side, but that's just part of one larger world. It's not like level based. So it's not like you're scouring this whole one level before you can move on and progressing the entire story. So I did really enjoy that one, and I still need to check out Prey Moon Crash sometime. I know that's one we potentially discussed for the podcast sometime maybe.
Yeah, I haven't played Prey, but it's always been on my radar, so I'm super happy that's on Game Pass. Game Pass, we get paid every time we say Game Pass, by the way, so I'm gonna say it a couple more times. Game
for,
Pass.
for, for the Queen in the Jar. In the
That's right.
swear jar, but for Game Pass.
Yeah, so I'm totally gonna hit up Prey pretty soon after Dishonored. But what else have I been playing? Avengers hit, and I'm
Yes.
surprised. It runs like super smooth compared to when I installed the demo, the beta
Mm.
on my PC. Like it was just stuttering like nothing else. And I have a 5-year-old computer or whatever, but I expected it to at least run, at low settings. But XCloud, it just runs like super buttery smooth, everything at high def. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm lucky to have an Xbox One X, which I imagine it runs quite well on now. So I'm tempted to check it out. I don't have high expectations, and I have so many games on my to do list, but I might have a poke at that. At least see the tutorial sort of intro section. So I'm quite interested in seeing how Ms. Marvel is handled.
Yeah,
One of my favorite comics. So that should
yeah.
sounds
Like
interesting.
from the first mission that I played, and I played a bit of that beta as well. First mission I played, it's pretty much like playing, you know, the Insomniac Spider-Man. Like
Hmm.
you might as well be playing a single player game if you're playing the campaign. Like there's no indication at all that it's a multiplayer oriented service based game whatsoever. It just feels like very much single player focused. Even though I know that other side is a huge aspect of the game. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy yourself even if you play it just for the campaign.
Excellent. Cool. Well, and as far as what I've been playing, also not much has changed since we recorded. Though I did have a managed to play a round of like in the name Imperium Classics from Osprey,
Yeah,
the deck building game. I've played a little bit solo, and we've played a little bit online. There's an official demo on Tabletop Simulator. It's only has like four of the factions, so not the full range. But this was my first time playing physically with another person, so that was a fun experience. And seeing seeing the pacing of that, it's hard to get a grip on that game completely because every time you try a new faction, you basically there's so much discoverability. both you're each just learning the faction, seeing what's even in there because you're adding new cards throughout the course of the game. So you don't even know how the faction is going to evolve over the course of it until you've seen the game already. So the first game is always fun just from a discoverability angle, and then from then on it's sort of solving the puzzle and trying to optimize that. So I'm looking forward to diving in that some more, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed that game the two times I played it, and I think both of those times were with you.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't, I like you said, I want to see more of what those factions have to offer and see all the different play styles. I don't know if it will continue to hold my interest after I've played each of the factions one time, but what I have played, I've enjoyed for sure.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the replayability for each faction is. Whether it's just something, whether once you've solved the puzzle, whether it's just a matter of executing on that on the optimal way of solving that puzzle each time, or if there's a way to be a little more dynamic in how you approach that. I mean, there is obviously some randomness in how the cards come out. So some of the key cards in your faction synergy might not come out till later in the game. So you might need to find a way to compromise around that. But I mean, I can't really say without trying one faction multiple times. But I am curious how that plays.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that really rewards you for knowing your faction
Mm.
inside and out, all of your cards, because of course, it's a fixed deck, so you absolutely know what you would have, and of course you can add cards to it, but even those become pretty familiar, and most of the cards are pretty similar to each other, slight variations. So yeah, it's really about just intimately knowing your deck, which I appreciate those types of games too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll hopefully be able to revisit that soon. Well, why don't we blast off and take a look at Beyond the Sun here? We won't get too much into the nitty gritty on the rules. It's been a while since we recorded the podcast, to be honest, and since we've played it, so we'll be a little brief for brevity, but we'll give some of the brief overview here. So let me just refamiliarize with the interface myself, since I actually haven't played the board game arena version for a while now.
Yeah,
So
why don't you work on your turn, and I'll try and do a little explanation,
yeah,
and
you
we
go
can
ahead.
sort of weave in and out.
Hmm.
So I've already taken my first action. It's a worker placement game, as you might imagine. There's one of my pieces down on the basic spacefaring actions. So the basic spacefaring actions are available to you from the beginning of the game, as you might imagine, and pretty much everyone starts there. And there's sort of these tiers of research cards that will unlock new actions and new passive benefits to you as you research them. So that's basically what I did. Is my first action is I chose that action, and I spent one of my people, represented by that cube with the little person biped symbol on it. Spent one of those to do a research, and I put that little cube on that a third action from the top in the first column, terraforming. And as a result, it plopped another cube out onto the board in deep space. And cubes, the cubes can represent a variety of things, but ultimately, they're sort of like your empire, and you're unlocking them and taking them off your board and placing them either in space or on the research actions, and eventually, they start to get pretty thinned out. But I like that because it's sort of a built-in economy to the game, and being able to pull those cubes off
So if you just
is
scroll down here,
part
you
of the
can see.
challenge.
So these are the player boards down here.
Right. So you can see on I'm colored blue. You can see that two of my cubes are out. One of them is on that first research, and one of them is out in the middle of the deep space area in the space exploration board. Um, so, like we explained in the podcast episode, this game is really sort of predicated on this concept of a tech tree. So you'll see branching off of the basic spacefaring area, you'll see these branching paths, and each of the research spaces, of which only the tier 1 research options are flipped up, face up. Otherwise, they're face down cards. So you can see tier 2, tier 3 to its right, and then finally tier 4 all the way off to the far right. And so these are unknown to us. They've been randomized. And if one person gets to a research first, it does not prevent the other player from taking it afterwards. The person who gets to the research tier, like say tier 2 or tier 3 first, gets a little bonus choice they get to take when they flip the card, but otherwise that doesn't stop the next person from coming up behind them and taking on the action. And it gives them a little bit of insight, whereas the person discovering it first is kind of going in blind, even though you get a choice between, I think it's a choice between 2 cards, right?
You choose which color. I mean, you do have some choices to which color. There's basically 4 colors, 4 archetypes of technology, and you might have a choice of between 1 or 2 of those. You choose one of those colored archetypes, and then 2 cards of that archetype are presented to you, and you choose between those.
Right. So the red color near the top represents military. The bluish color, you see the little arrow to the right of the research card, represents science/research. The yellow represents sort of terraforming slash terraforming essentially, and the green represents I guess like production slash
Food
resources.
production, I think. Yeah.
Food production, yeah. So it's a pretty cool system. There's basically 2 types of resources. There's I guess like plants and cogs, which are the little discs you can see near the bottom of the player boards. Right along the bottom, and you can see we haven't put any out except our initial ones. Actually, there might not be initial ones, so I guess those are just uncovered to begin with. And then as you occupy planets, you can, if you have the most sort of dominance there, you can place out those cubes, which give you more resource production, essentially. And depending on which planet you land on, if you have both symbols, you might see on some of the planets they have a red cog symbol and a greenish, I don't know, leaf symbol, I guess. Those correspond to the 2 types of resources. And if you see 2, you have a choice. And if you see 1, then you can only put out that 1 type of resource. So ties just stick with the person who was there before. But if you're the only person there, or if you have the most military presence there in terms of ships, then you get to place your discs out, and the discs that were there that were there previously go back to the person that got booted out.
Yep, it's a pretty good summary. I think we'll explain some of the other mechanics as they come up, like the terraforming and control and whatnot. I mean, you can see, so this is basically there's a side area over here that's for like a little area control game, where in most games this would be the main focus of the game, like moving around the galaxy and manipulating that, and the research would be the mini game, whereas here it's the other way around. This is you can basically you could play this game ignoring the area control element entirely and just focus on the research track if you wanted to, but you want to be finding a balance, I guess, and it partly depends on timing with your opponents. So I'll get my turn going. So Mark's taken terraforming. Now I could also research the same thing, but it kind of behooves players to try and split up and carve out an area of the text tree for themselves. So I am going to do basic spacefaring here. This basically indicates researching a level 1 technology. So I'm going to research advanced robotics, which is going to help me with my ore production. So it'll just give me some ore, but it will also automate. What automate means is these production discs, rather than go out onto the planets that may be pulled off later, so they're only temporary on the planets. Automating means you move them to the top of your board here, so you're permanently moving them off the production area, so they can't be removed later. So if I do this, so confirm that, confirm. So you can see here where my cogs are now moved, and for every one of these that, sorry, for every two of these that is moved, I will get another ore in production. So at the end of your turn, right now, actually, you have your production phase. You can only choose to produce one of the two. So you can produce food, which makes workers, or you can produce ore. So you have the choice of one or the other. At this point, I'm only going to get one of each. So right now, I think I want ore, because I already have, you can see up here I've got 2 ore and 1 worker, but I think 1 worker is all I need for now, so I'm just going to go for ore. There we are.
Right. So now if you look back at the basic spacefaring area, and I actually have additional options because I researched an action, a card that has actions on it. So when you research, you can potentially gain an immediate bonus when you research it. So that's what Daniel's card, Advanced Robotics, has. In fact, it only has immediate benefits when you research it. It's one-time benefits. Whereas the terraforming card that I research has an immediate benefit, and then it unlocks additional actions. And those become more worker placement spaces, essentially. So as of right now, I'm prevented from taking any further level 1 research because both spots are occupied. They're occupied by my piece or Daniel's piece. So I could research a level 2, or I could actually start unlocking, taking some of the actions that I unlocked. So I might just do that. I might just jump, get out there in space, as they say. I have a bit of an advantage being out in deep space. I'm a little bit further out than Daniel, and what I might do is, if I'm counting correctly, I have 3 jump actions, which essentially lets me jump across 4 segments of space in total. I have jump 4, so I can move 1 piece 4 times, or 2 pieces, 2 spaces each, and then basically I want to get out there. I want to get out there before Daniel, so I can take over those spaces. And I can't terraform, so I don't have enough power. Basically, there's a little, like, I don't know, number in the bottom right, bottom left,
yeah.
That indicates how much sort of ship power I need to have out there. And I don't have nearly enough because I only have 2 weakling ships. So I don't know, Daniel, what do you think? Is it better to generalize or specialize at this point in plans?
I mean, in a 2-player game, you're really countering each other. It's probably better to specialize, because I mean, in a 3 or 4-player game, there's so much overlap. So you really want to, you're going to be forced to spread around regardless. Whereas in a 2-player, you can really carve out a little niche for yourself.
Right. Okay.
It's worth
take your advice.
It's worth noting that a lot of these planets will come with a control bonus. So when you first gain control, you will get a bonus, and then there's additional bonuses for when you colonize. Now, these starting planets don't have that control bonus, but he does get the benefit of placing out his production tokens, production discs, to increase his production. So you can see here now he's placed out enough that when he produces ore, he gets 2 instead of 1, which is very nice. So, okay, now I could produce, since he's freed up an extra space in Spacefaring 1, I could do that and research another level 1 tech. But right now, I don't have a lot of options if I wanted to move and take some planets for myself. Unless I come up here, believing that's going to be a couple of turns. So I think I'm just going to power forward into the unknown and see what we have in level 2 of the tech tree. So I'm going to come here. Now, a lot of these level 2 techs are going to... they all have some prerequisites. Some of them have one or two of the previous level. So this one here, for example, requires both of these to have been researched, whereas this one here only requires the one. So let's have a look what we've got here.
Here's where the choice comes up.
Yeah, well, first we have the events. So the events have been seated on the board already, so those are completely random. They'll usually give it's a little bit of a bonus, basically a consolation prize for me going into the unknown and not knowing exactly what I'm going to get. So it's going to be a little bit of a bonus. So I can basically get a free ship, and then Mark can also get a ship of that power. So the choice is whether, I mean, I choose what level, whether I want a level 1 or level 2 ship, but Mark gets the same level of ship. So, I mean, it doesn't really make a big difference at this point, especially in a 2-player game. It's just going to be an even match regardless. So, I'll just take the level 2 ship. And I'll mark it's his. Okay, and now I can upgrade one of mine. So I'll make this a level 3, which means this ship can potentially start colonizing, because some of these planets only have a requirement of 3 power, which I now have. Okay, so I have 2 options here. So basically the prerequisite of this technology is blue, which means I'm going to get given 2 blue technologies, but so a lot of them have multiple colors. But I've got 2, at least part blue technologies to choose from. So one here is going to... This one's good at upgrading ships and further automating some cogs. And this one is letting me jump around, which could actually be useful, considering I don't have any easy access to jumping right now. And furthermore, will in future turns let me research. So jump 2, and then as an optional, I may research a level 3 tech if I control 3 or more locations after the jump. Now that's going to be tricky in only a 2-player game, because there's only 4 places to control to begin with. So I need to control like the 3 planets and this shipyard system up here. So that's... I need to control 3 of the 4 in order to activate this, which could be tricky, but I think it's still useful just for the jumping ability to help me get some early mobility going here. So I'm going to move my 3 up here to wrest control from Mark, and may as well take over this one down here. So that is me.
I don't like that at all.
So, and down here, I'll put a food production down there. So, now since I'm out of workers, I will take a worker for production. Okay.
All right. So, so I don't have control of that second planet anymore, but I'm just chalking that up as a lesson in game mechanics. Just teaching how to play the game. I'll let it slide. So some more actions have been opened up. So let me look at what I can do. I would like to colonize, but I just don't have the power out yet. Daniel looks like he probably does soon, although he doesn't have the resources to do so. So we'll see. I think maybe researching is the best thing for me to do at this point. I'm gonna, even though it's not totally synergizing with my existing research, I'm going to take narrow beam lasers, just because the upgrading is going to do something nice for me, I think. So I'm going to upgrade that one and use that effect. And let's see what I get. I need people, because my people supply is getting low. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting all these resources from. I'm struggling over here. Okay, well, I could just jump. I mean, there's no point jumping around more, because if I move anything, I'm relinquishing control to Mark basically. So no point in doing that until I have some more ships. So we have a cat cameo here. Hello, this is Ted. It is getting close to dinner time, so
Special guest.
he's likely to be loitering for the next little while. Okay, so excuse me. I mean, I'm also liking the narrow beam, if only because I need that as for the prerequisites over here. And in a sense, it's better to have two technologies that are next to each other rather than split them up like Mark did.
It's true. Unless you have a long-term plan.
Well, I'll assume there's a method to your madness there. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So let's... Yeah, since I don't have much in the way of resources right now, I guess I'll keep it simple and just jump up here for some more ore. Let's upgrade this one. And as much as I still need more ore, I also just need people, don't I? Excuse me. Yeah, I'll just take the people for now.
Okay. So it looks like there's no action that's going to let me move and colonize all in one go.
No.
I'll have to move or colonize. But that's okay. I could deal. I think I'm going to take the narrow beam action just to get my guys moving. And I only need a few actions because I don't need to move very far. But lets me build a new ship, which is kind of nice. I guess I'm going to go with a military heavy strategy this time around. Anyways, I'll say I'm done with that one. I do like how it's going pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, in a two-player game, it flows pretty well. And I mean, if I can see that you're going for a military heavy strategy, it doesn't really behoove me to try and fight you for that. It's just going to end up in a war of mutual destruction with neither of us achieving much of anything. It's going back and forth. So better that I try and achieve something else and wait for you to clear the space. I mean, because once someone colonizes, all the ships that go into colonizing that planet disappear. So suddenly there's a power vacuum, and I can rush in and take advantage of that. So I'll let you do your thing over there for now. Now, I don't think I actually have the prerequisites. Oh, I do have the prerequisites for another level 2. But I really need some people is what I need. And I could come down here for a level 1 tech. I'm spreading myself pretty thin at that point. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the monopoly on the research track and just jump down here. Having a lot of technologies is nice, but you very quickly find yourself running out of cubes because it's a very finite resource. Once they're gone from this board, you've got no way of getting more. So let's see. I've got one person, so I think that's enough for now. I'll just take some ore.
So what's the deal with ships that you use to colonize a planet? Do they come back to your board?
They'll go back to your player board. So they'll go back to the leftmost. They go back to the leftmost empty column. No, rightmost empty column. So I mean, at the moment it's column A, regardless. It'll just get slashed back onto there.
Right. Okay. Well, I think since I have the ability and the opportunity, I'm going to do it. I'm going to colonize that left most system.
Oh, hello, Meeple and the Moose. I think someone from over on Victoria Island just throwing throw away. Wanted to play Beyond the Sun for some time. Hard time learning how to play games via BGA. Yeah, they're not a great way of tutorializing it unless you have someone teaching you. And even then, I mean, there is an option for like using the cursor to like point at certain elements of the board. But unless you have someone who's particularly good at teaching, it's not the most intuitive way without being able to visualize information. This game in particular, I find is quite helpful having the physical board in order to visualize, because the way the the player boards here are set up, it can be a little unintuitive, I find, especially with the population cubes here. They're not on the physical board. They're nice sort of double layered boards. It's a little easier to visualize what's going on. We've played a few times now. I think I've only played 2 times, Mark. I thought you played a lot more than that. I mean, I've played a handful of times on Board Game Arena and a couple of times in person now.
Yeah, I might have played like 3, definitely less than a handful. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's a little dry. I mean, you could hear my opinion on.
It's a lot of text, just big wall of text and symbols here. And I mean, we discussed this in the podcast. There is some way of reading into that a little bit of emergent storytelling, like I think it's the human experiment card often comes up, and like what are they doing to the population? But you kind of have to bring that to the game. It doesn't really give you much to work with. Just a lot of white text here. Sorry, I think it was my turn, was it? So what did you do? Oh, sorry, you colonized. Okay, so you've colonized and freed up a ship here. Sorry, freed up a planet. But you do still have a level 4 there. Okay. So again, not liking my chances of wresting control here. What I really need is a way of colonizing myself. At some point, one of these guilds will be revealed. That makes it easier to colonize. That's hidden somewhere in these level 2 tech events. Now, what were the colors? I can never remember what the... Sorry, let me just double check here. The 4 colors. Here we go. So, yellow is colonization actions. Okay. Which, again, you already have there. Okay. So, not a lot I can do there. I think I'll research level 2 for now. I think what I need to figure out is I'm staying afloat in terms of population, but I really need to figure out a more long-term solution for having more people, especially since I'm playing the research track, which is spending out quite a lot of them quickly. So let's research down here.
Yeah, the research track is really interestingly designed in that if you look at how the columns of dice are splayed out, and I like to call the dice marshmallows because they look like uncooked marshmallows just before you put them on the fire, roast them on the fire. But basically, the second column, the B column of dice, sits above the tier.
Oh, sorry,
the third column of plant or production that you can see there that Daniel's highlighting over. So if I can get my third plant out like Daniel has, then I can take 1 die from the first 2 columns as opposed to 1 die from the first column. And that's essentially a control on resource production. So it's a visual, it's a little mind bendy, but once you just get the drift that every two columns below get you access to another resource die, then it starts to sink in.
Yeah, if I was to produce population now, I would take a cube from columns A and B. Unfortunately, A is now empty, unless I can find a way to start returning some cubes there. But yes, beyond the smalls, I love it. These are kind of representing population. I mean,
it's Soylent Green, right?
There are clones in this game, so I mean, clones, I guess, come out with the consistency of marshmallow, or failed clones, perhaps. Okay, so what am I looking at? I'm looking at an event here. So I'm drawing a planet card and putting it next to a system. Okay, so it's just adding an extra planet, like one next to one of the existing planets. So, and it can be either A or B. There's not a huge difference in the decks. B tend to be slightly more expensive, but they're not that different, to be honest. But I'll say B, and since I'm already controlling this system, we'll stick it next to that. Okay, so you can see here. This is one of what I was saying that before. Some planets have a control ability, so every time the control of this planet changes, the person taking control gets this bonus. In this case, paying 2 ore to research a level 1 technology, which isn't the best deal, to be honest. I mean, in terms of action efficiency, perhaps, but 2 ore is expensive for just a level 1. It's usually free. So, what have I got here? This will let me automate food and research level 3 technologies, but I already have that ability. And this will let me create ships and jump. Okay. Interesting. I actually like this one, I think, especially since I just revealed a new planet. So I can jump 1. So I could either take control of this new planet, but again, I don't have I don't even have the population to take advantage of that anyway. So I don't think I will do that. I think I might just shore up my control of this one here, since Mark's starting to muscle in. So, done jumping. Confirm. And yeah, okay.
So clarify one thing for me. There's 2 planets
Right.
in the top right. AD Leonis, I think, is the newer one because you were occupying Arietis there.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
AI is
yeah,
the UI is a little cluttered here. So TZ Arietis is the main system. To get to AD Leonis, you first have to travel to TZ Arietis and then jump 1 more to AD.
right,
I mean,
right.
it should be the other way around. Like AD is technically further away over on the right here. It's a little cluttered UI, unfortunately.
Right. So that's what I thought is so it takes me extra distance. It's not 1 distance
Mm.
from deep space to get there. It's 2 spaces
Yeah.
from deep space to get there, which is a little tricky. But I think I can make it work.
Oh, you know what?
Um,
I haven't even considered myself, and we've got to talk about was the achievements. I mean, that's definitely something we should be
yeah.
taking into account in
Yeah.
our strategies here. So there's 4 achievements in any game. 2 of those are locked, and 2 of those are randomized. So one of them is just researching a level 4 technology, and one of them is colonizing 4 systems. So those ones are always in the game. And when you achieve either of those, you put a token on here. You get some victory points, and that's is basically tracks the end of the game. I think in a 2-player game, it's when 3 tokens have been placed on achievements. That triggers end game. We also have here the 2 randomized ones. So this is have 7 or more action spaces on level 2 and 3 techs. So, for example, I've got in my level 2 techs, there's 1 action space here and 1 here. So I'm sitting at 2 of 7 for this one. And this is have 4 or more power in 3 locations at end of turn. So, I mean, having ships with power basically. So if Mark had a level 4 ship in 3 different locations, he would achieve that, which doesn't actually seem that difficult. You're already halfway there.
I gotta keep pushing on it. Then you have to have the resources to do it. So
But worth noting, this is only 1 person can get this achievement. So as soon as that's done, like the other player can't also achieve that. And it's same for both of these actually in a 2-player game. These are one of us only, whereas the other 2 you can both achieve. So, sorry, what did you just do? You just moved around some more. Okay. I'm not liking how quickly you're on track to colonize again. Okay. I don't have enough ore
so
to activate
control
that.
is the thing the benefit you gain when you just land on the planet, right?
Yes, when you, I mean, if you're the first person to move onto that system, or when you take control of that system from another player, you get that benefit at the top there.
Right. And then colonize is obviously the benefit you get when you colonize that planet.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not liking how limited my resources are. Because I'm basically having to spend one population every turn and I only get one each turn, so I'm just staying afloat there. It's this game it's quite easy to put yourself into a corner where you spend all of your resources on one turn and then have no way to
Right.
get more for the next one. So you really have to pace yourself. It's quite
Right.
key here.
And the reason why
So
Daniel is saying he's gaining one resource, even though he's put out a number of discs, is that the first column on his track, on both of our tracks actually, are empty. So if there's no dice in those columns, even though you have the capacity to gain those resources, you don't gain those resources. You can only gain what's one die from each column that has a die in it. That's a cool part of the game.
it is. So this would give me jump 3. That's not bad. And if I take control from you, I get ore. So that's an alternative way I have of generating some resources, which I don't mind the sound of that, to be honest.
How are you taking ore from me?
Okay, so if I do this, do I get a new ship? Now,
Oh no. And screen peeping off of the stream.
it's a little bit hard, like getting everything out of Soul takes so long in this game. I've got to move them to here and then through deep space, so that's taking me quite a bit of time there. Now, did it not give me an ore? I thought I should have gotten an ore for taking control from that. Oh, I guess I had to spend one to actually create that ship. Okay, that's alright.
Right.
Well, okay, so I'm still back where I started.
Right.
Struggling to go ahead here.
I would dearly like to colonize, but I don't have the resources to do it. But thankfully, there is a way to gain that resource I need, which is to research the final level 1. Gives me that automation and gets me a free ore, I guess. And for production, I can produce 2 ore now. So yes, please, I would like to do that.
Okay, so I can't do that again. So I don't, and that's where, yeah, I can't even afford to use that to jump. So I think my only option is to start opening up some more options. So why don't we come down here? So, yeah, so you have access to all of these now. So I can't really, regardless of what I do, you can just follow me there. So this one will give me options, whereas here I could choose red or blue. So I have, so I think we'll go here. And since we already have some blue tech, I think we're going to go red.
Red's nice.
So that'll let me jump around some more. More ways of jumping, just what I need. This is just making new ships. I'm making ships and jumping, but it's still such a tight... Like, I don't have the population to really take advantage of that. And this does give me an immediate benefit, so choose a ship to jump. Let's get something into deep space, I guess. I need to just get stuff out onto the board. Oh yeah, see now I've put myself into a corner now where I don't have any way of getting any more cubes because
Right.
A and B is empty, but I need to get 2 more discs out to even to start pulling more cubes. So I really have to start either have to find a way of putting cubes back onto the board or
Yeah.
find a way. I'll get some more green discs out, and there's not really anywhere to put. I mean, if I could take these from you, perhaps, but that's going to take
Yeah.
quite a bit of maneuvering.
You have 6 cubes out in space, and you
Yeah,
have a bunch of cubes on technologies. At least 3 more than I. No, 4. 2 more than I do.
I'm not really taking advantage of those cubes as much as I should be.
Right. So you're kind of locking up your cubes.
I mean, it is heavy. I have the cubes there, but not having the maneuverability is quite tough. So I'll
Yeah.
see what I can find next turn, I guess.
I think I'm gonna have to do this just because I'm well positioned. Yeah, I got to do it, right? Yeah, let's bite the bullet, colonize that system. Even though I'm gonna lose power, I don't have a lot of ships to go around. Although I could do that plasma cannon. So we put a 3 out there. That's kind of nice. Actually, maybe I will do that because you don't have the population to do that anyway.
No, I have no
No.
population. Yeah.
Is there an extra cost to researching a level 2? Cost
Well, I mean,
2
generally
ore?
it's going to cost you 2 ore. Oh, right. Yeah. So if because there's 2 workers' paces here, and if you take the second one, it costs you an extra ore.
Okay. So a
So it'd
little
be
extra
three
tax.
ore to do that.
Okay. Well, that's not the worst. I'm going to gain some ore back anyway. Okay. So let's build up a little bit of power here. And I'm going to build it in my shipyard, which is opposite Sol. So you'll notice that the Sol space, which is, the very bottom, is sort of Earth system. It's furthest away from sort of the bulk of the systems, and that's where we all start off at. And the shipyard system is sort of like another area where you can build ships out of. So if you hold that area, it's quite advantageous.
In fact,
Um,
that one's much better than Soul in a 2-player game. This one gives you like in a 3 or 4-player game. There's 2 ships, there's 2 planets down here and 2 up here, so they're kind of
right.
equally beneficial. But this one's much better in a 2-player game because you have twice as many planets basically. So,
Yeah. This is the first time I'm seeing this 2-player space
mm,
arrangement. Actually, I've seen the bigger one multiple times.
so I'm kind of locked out from taking advantage of most of these, unfortunately, without population. But, hmm. Yeah, it just takes so long to move anything around. Okay, well, I really need to find a way of colonizing, but I don't even have any workers to grab this technology here. So I'm in something of a corner here until the terraforming guild comes out at least. So why don't we? I guess this is the main way of moving right now. Don't have the population to build a new ship, unfortunately. So I have to skip that. But I can move. Move 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what are you thinking there, Mark? Oh, I think we've lost your.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there
sorry, I
you
had my mic off. I was trying to take a screenshot and totally failing.
go.
Let's see here. Well, you've actually opened up some options for me. No, I lied. You took the space I wanted to take.
That's good.
I lied. Okay. No, that's all right. I can deal.
That's bad.
Oh, even better. Even better. Okay. Let's do this thing. All right. I'm going to arrange this. Build. Here. Then move this guy here. This guy here. So I trust that 3 locations, actually 3, it would include systems. So I'm just going to say,
For the achievement,
yeah.
I imagine it includes everything except Deep Space and Soul. I don't think those count for. You can't control. Yeah, so, yeah, these are non-controllable. Deep Space and Soul is non-controllable, but everything else, the shipyard system and planets are controllable.
Well,
I guess.
how are they not controllable? Because you gain, you can put a discount on them, right? So
No,
you do
not Deep Space or Soul. You
first
can't. Nice
achievement.
work. I was hoping to get. I mean, I have the ships there. I just couldn't maneuver them fast enough. Oh well. Okay then. Oh, it's back again. Okay. Well,
Oh, Mart.
I'm still in that same corner. I think. So I think if there's an action like this, it tells me I turn a supply into a population. I can take it from any column, regardless of my production. It's only at the end of the production phase that's is determined by how many discs I have out here. So I could still take, say, this action here, which just return a supply into a population. I just can't gain any at the end of my turn. But this action here, I mean, this is like a reliable way of getting resources, but it's a bit of a chump action. Like if all else fails, if you have absolutely nothing else you can possibly do, this is the option of the action of last resort, basically. So let's try not to do that. Again, most of these. Shh, 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 shh. All of these. I really want to colonize, but struggling to figure out how to do that here. I can't research. I can't do much of anything, in fact. So do I do this for a Hail Mary action next turn, perhaps?
Do it.
It is one of two. Like two of these 3 technologies will let me unlock the terraforming guild, but I'm not sure how much I can rely on that. Or I just researched the level 1 tech here that lets me do that. But this requires 2 population, which I'm never going to do. So. Oh, I guess no. It just requires 1. It requires 1 population, but you have to discard it. So I guess I'll do this. I'll give in to despair there. Okay.
All right. Can I do this? I think I can. I gotta get me some cubes back. All right. Let me read the effects properly.
Oh, I think our skunk visitors are back. Skunks visiting every night for the last week. I can smell them from here.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you've got 2 colonies down. So I guess what we didn't discuss is that when you colonize, not only do you keep the token that was on it, but you can add another token as well. And if that planet can take either token, you can doesn't have to be the same one. You could put one of each, like he has here. Okay.
Is that? I mean, I don't know. I think one was better than the other, but the benefit on one was. I'm really just blathering to myself at this point.
So this planet system is actually locked off. No one can visit this planet
Oh
until you
yeah,
have 2 level 3 techs, which we're both pretty far off from right now. Wow. Okay.
Luton's star. All right, well that's a bit of a change of plans,
Okay.
but
So this
I'll
suddenly
take it.
became even tighter. Okay. Alrighty. Well,
All right, 2 systems.
could move some more ships around. So what have you got? You've got six power here. Wow. I could take control of that, but not really going to be a huge benefit to me right now. Okay, so I'm going to take that Hail Mary, roll the dice, and see if I can find a decent tech here. Oh, it's really the events that I want that's going to let me. Oh, no, that's not the one I needed. Okay, I was hoping for this. So 2 of these, I guess these 2 here will let you unlock the 2 guilds. One of which I could choose to be the terraforming guild. Fortunately, it's not the one I needed. So this is just going to give me. Let me add a card to a system, which makes it harder to enter, but worth more points when it's colonized. Well, I may as well choose this one down here that Marx has no presence in. Oh, here we go. Here's a colonizing action I could choose. 4 or and low. So I'm lowering the requirement of that planet by 1, so that could be useful. This one has to be upgrade ships and automate ore. That is useful. That is useful, but I already have enough ships. It's just moving them is the option. So I think I really need this colonization ability here.
I'm I was in such a good position, and now I'm really hurting for people.
See, that's the thing, yeah. So you can work your way up to one big action once you achieve a whole lot of things, but then if you don't save enough for the next turn, you're suddenly having to spend 2 turns like regaining your resources.
Exactly. So what's the? I mean, is that last? Is the fourth basic spacefaring action a way to get more
Yeah,
people?
so you can always these actions here. So when it says take a supply from turn a supply cube into a population, because some of these you'll see on the technology cards as well, and those will always be available. Like you can always do that regardless of what your token situation here is. The token situation, like the production of the tokens, only influences what you can gain at the end of your turn in the production phase. But assuming you have some cubes out on the board, you can always take those actions there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That was my less than efficient action, but I had to do it.
So I'm guessing that I think it must be in green. There are some other technologies that also let you do that same thing. Because this isn't a very efficient way of doing it. But I may have to do that again myself in a minute if this continues. Because I can colonize now, but I need a person to discard in order to do that. So what I might do. So I'm gonna maneuver some people around because I need to stop you from being able to colonize again. Can't stop it completely though.
Ooh, this inability to take over Luton's star is really putting a damper on my parade here. It's not stopping me from taking over
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't take both of them from you, unfortunately.
It's okay. I can deal. That is my third system.
Not liking that. Okay.
So, should we talk about endgame triggers at this point?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to confirm, but in two-player game, I'm pretty sure game ends when 3 tokens have been placed out here between us. I mean, okay, here we go. Let's double check. 3 achievements have been claimed.
Got it.
That's 3 tokens, not 3 achievement cards. So once 3 are out, I think you finish that round and then have one more round. So I guess what's worth points here is every technology you've researched is worth points. So every level 1 is worth 1 point. Every level 2 is worth 2 points. Any planets that you've colonized are worth points, as per the bottom left there. The automation track up at the top here will give you some points. It generally does 1 per token that you have up the top. The level 4 technologies, if we ever get there at this rate, which we might not, they all give you a variable. Like they generally don't give you actions. They'll just give you a variable number of points per a certain condition. So they'll let you specialize a little more for some points. But you really want to get those earlier so you can start working towards that rather than get at the very last minute and not have any way of improving that. So what else? I guess you get, it's like 1 point each for each system you control at the end of the game.
Right.
Am I forgetting anything?
Um,
Well, I guess there is this is like a mini achievement. So this is just each faction may once this game, I didn't even see this, may once each game move a token to increase its production level. So it's a free production automation, but it's worth, you lose 2 points end of game. Okay. Actually, might have been useful to get myself out of this corner that I've left myself into, because I could have placed this food cube out. Okay,
yeah,
well,
that would have been nice.
Okay, so I guess now that you've colonized that planet, there's even less options here. There's only, it's kind of split between these 3 locations, and that is it. So, I mean, until you have more ships, I know I'm keeping control of them. So, what I really need to do is, I still need a dude to colonize, and literally the only way of getting more dudes right now is this section here. So, I hate to see it, but I think it's my only option.
There's no shame. Got to do it sometime.
And I'm not liking, there's a pretty big point difference here. I only have 12 points, you have 28, which I'm assuming most of that is coming from your colonized systems.
Colonized systems, a little bit from research, because I'm not too far behind you in research.
Yeah, I have like 4 more. Because each of these systems are giving us 2 points each, so I guess I have a little bit of an edge there, but not very much.
Yeah, especially now. Let's see. There we go. All right.
Oh, you grabbed that one. Okay.
What do I want to put out? I think I need people. Yeah, the resource economy in this game is actually really important. It's sort of a mini game in itself.
And it's not so much when, like, whether you can afford an action. It's just the timing of making sure that you stagger your actions in enough ways that you're not going to run out. like I said, the pacing of your economy is so key.
Yeah, each action you want to set yourself up for the next action. Otherwise, you're gonna run into a little ditch like we have a couple of times each. right, where are the research actions at?
That messed me up. Okay. I thought I was going to get a dude out of that, but apparently not.
Is there a level 3 research out there?
We have it. I mean, technically, it's that the space-time anomaly.
Oh yeah.
You will let you research level 3 if you have if you control 3 or more locations. But again, right now, there's literally only 3 options. You have to control all 3 of these in order to utilize that.
I could do that after the jump.
Oh yeah, I have kind of relinquished control from all these locations.
Yeah, it's because you colonized, right?
Yeah,
A reflection of that.
so I've left a bit of a power vacuum there.
Yeah, I mean, can I pull this off? Control those sections. Wolf 359, classic Star Trek reference. Yeah, put some more plants out there. Yeah, it's gonna let me do it. I like the sound of that. Level 3 research. Go. Okay. You may check this under an undiscovered technology slot 2/3, except the one you are researching, or discard this event. So every faction who later researches that technology gains 1 and immediately that turn and 1 victory point at the end of the game. Every faction who later researches that technology. So I want to put it on something that you don't want to pursue.
Well, something that I've already researched, I guess.
I guess so. But there are no level 2s that...
Oh, it has to be an undiscovered technology slot. Okay,
Yeah. It's
interesting.
ideally something you don't really have access to. I guess
Well,
I'll
I
put
mean,
it...
neither of these I have access to be honest, because I haven't got this level 1
Oh, I'm going to put
technology.
it I'll just put it right there. That one, the straight shot.
Right.
Okay. Commerce or military? I feel like there's lots of military out there, so I'm going to go for commerce. Ooh. Oof. Are you seeing these?
Yeah, that's like level 3 really ramps things up into very specialized strategies here. So upgrade 3 ships, and then upgrade
Damn.
2 ships and jump 4. That's pretty nice.
I mean,
Yeah, this
if
one
I...
letting you colonize a system where no one is at. It's pretty powerful, especially in a 2-player game. Like I say, you colonize on your turn. Well, if I colonize on my turn, yeah, whatever new system comes out, no one's there, then you can just roll straight in.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good. Although, if I upgraded my ships, I would gain more control, especially of Wolf 359. But you got a bunch of ships around there, so I'm just gonna... Doesn't really help me that much. What's good? What's good? Resources. I got lots of people. Let's get some more. Okay.
Yeah, if you got too many people, I'll take some of those. Man,
You got lots of ore.
and I could take. Oh, thanks for following, Omijan. Hi, welcome. So I could take take some more locations from you, which would give me even more ore. But as you said, I'm not exactly short of ore right now. That is not my concern. Yeah, I really this because you can choose which types of technologies come out. You can really guide this tech tree to focusing on just 1 or 2 of the 4 archetypes, and there's very little green out there right now, so not really much way of generating new workers.
Right.
I rushed that a little too fast, I think.
So we should have mentioned that our factions are a little bit different. Well, you decide I'll explain
Oh,
a
they're
little bit.
very slightly different. It's really just the starting resources with the basic versions.
Yeah, I think I did start with a ship out. No, I didn't. My first action, I put a ship out in deep space, but I think I did start with more ore than you did. If I remember that correctly. I don't even know where the differences are written, to be honest. I am Nishida Ostergaard Corporation.
There are advanced versions of each of these factions. So they're double. There's like there's two versions. The simple version where you get a very slight difference to the starting resources, and then another that gives you. It basically doesn't really give you an ability necessarily. What it does is the way the player boards are laid out are all slightly different. So the production symbols are moved around slightly. So one might get ore production earlier. Some of these columns may be taller than others, so that these are slightly different. But each faction basically has two goals. So rather than having a unique faction ability, they each have two goals that they're trying to achieve. One might be, for example, get all supply cubes from the first three, like from ABC, all those supply cubes out. And once you do that, you fulfilled this goal, you get a big boost. So you'll each have two goals, and once you hit that, you'll get a large boost ability of some kind. So it doesn't really change how you play, but it kind of guides you towards a specific strategy, basically.
Right. Help me read this stealth terraformers, this level 3 tech. Do you think I could take over Luton's Star with that?
A system that was not controlled by any faction at the start of this turn. So you may not enter the star system, but yeah, you know. Oh,
Wonder if it'll let me try.
See, I still don't know if you need to have a presence in there to colonize it.
But it's not controlled by any faction.
At the start of the turn, though.
I would assume that's not me either.
So I assume what it means is, say a faction is not controlled at the start of the turn. You have this action gives you jump 2. As part of that, you move into that empty system, and they're then able to colonize it after you've taken control.
Otherwise, I would have had to be there at the beginning of the turn to colonize it.
Yeah, there's normally, in most cases, an action is either move or colonize, so you have to basically have camped there for an entire turn. This lets you move into a system and colonize it immediately, as long as it was empty first.
Right.
That's how I would interpret that.
Okay.
I still think you need presence and control. Like, you still need to spend.
Yeah.
You still need to have the power prerequisite.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to research a level 2. You gain 1 resource, then choose and remove 1 tier 1 guild.
Okay, here we go. So you either choose Terraforming Guild or Professor's Guild.
Right.
So this is a way of these basic actions, which is colonize and research level 3. It's a way of forcing those. So you're always going to be guaranteed some degree of those actions if the right technologies didn't come out. Because it's possible you just didn't see any of the technologies that let you colonize.
Yeah. You know what? Even though we have an ability that lets you research level 3, I get the feeling that you're going to take some systems over from me. So I'm going to actually unlock the Professor's Guild. I learned from a previous game where I burned myself by denying everyone the access to an ability.
Right, including yourself.
Including myself, precisely. Okay. What does it say? Skip your regular production phase this turn unless you have 2 or more colonized systems. Well, that's not a big problem. And then just build some ships. Multi-column symposium.
Nice. So yeah, it's another way of researching level 3. So yeah, as I said, these guarantee certain actions will become available, but they tend to be very inefficient ways of doing it. So this, for example, costs 4 ore and 2 population to get a level 3 technology, whereas this one is 2 ore and 1 population. So this is much cheaper, assuming you have those 2 colonized systems, which I do not. So that's pretty perfect for you. Okay. Okay. So I have a worker, but I really need to be careful this time to make sure that I spend it in such a way that I'm not going to run out of them again. So I could move some dudes around and then be ready to colonize. So what are the colony bonuses here?
Private technology, that's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And wise.
Skipped that. So we're gonna move 1, 2, 3.
Oh no!
And put green out there.
How the tables have turned, and look at all the resources. You have 19 ore.
Nothing to spend it on, really.
Yeah, good luck spending. Exactly. Wait a minute, I don't control systems anymore. Oh no, colonize systems. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use multi-colony symposium. Because heck, why not? Okay, you don't have access to that. You do have access to that, so I'm going to go for that one. Okay. Oh no, speaker for the colonies. Remove a tier 2 guild cover below. Yes, I will.
So these level 2 guilds are either researcher level 1 technology and a basic spacefaring action on top of that, or it's a very expensive way of researching level 4 technologies.
It is very expensive, isn't it?
Maybe three population. That is incredible. I've never seen it more than one at a time.
Right. Maybe I'll find a cheaper way.
Hopefully.
Nope. Copy any research type action. Interesting. That's military. This might help me better in the short term. I'm going to choose deep space megastructures. Going to let me build one in deep space, and then
build ships and research. Military research.
Take back control of that spot.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna put more food out.
Yeah, you've got that locked down there. But only 3 cubes left. That's interesting. So how do I spend one dude? I could try to colonize this. It would give me a private level 3 research that only I can use, but it's just a random one from top of the deck, so there's no way of knowing what it's going to be. I mean, level 3 techs are all pretty powerful, but that is a complete crapshoot as to what it could be. And it wouldn't even put enough supply cubes back on here to let me have production. So this would let me jump 2, but I can only research level 3 if I control all 3, and that's not going to happen. I haven't got enough to get here. Okay. I think I'm just going to have to take my chances with this. You know what? Yeah, this actually would give me a ship back in production because I have to spend 2 of them. So yeah, this actually does work. So use ships, because the ships that you ships that you use in colonization go back to your supply board, and any ships in addition to that beyond the power that you need just go back to deep space, including other players. So Mark's here went back to deep space, and so I needed both of my ships to meet that level 5 requirement. So they both... Wait, no they didn't. Where'd they go? Maybe it's. I think I still haven't confirmed the action. That's probably why.
Yep, they're back.
Yeah, there they go. There they are. So what do we? Ooh, yeah. So now I have a. Wait, okay, so they actually put down enough uh, food tokens that I actually can now get 2 population this turn. Which so things are finally turning around. Whether it's too late will remain to see. So what did I get here? Oh, so okay, so that's where the extra token came from. So this private technology lets me automate a food token and get a population cube, and in the future turn it's a cheap way of a level 4 tech. So I have access to that. So that's quite nice. And I now have 3 population to work with. So I finally have options. It only took 2/3 of the game before Mark had nearly already won. So
That's pretty nice.
Might be too little, too late. We'll see.
Let's see. Let's see how it goes.
So I feel like you're close to 2 other achievements there.
Yeah, I gained 1 just now, and it looks like I'm going to, or I think I am anyway. Let's see if it actually works. Yep, there's the second.
So you colonize 4 systems, so you have 2 achievements. So when the third one is placed, that will trigger end game. So at this rate, I don't know if either of us are even going to get to a level 4 tech. I haven't even researched level 3 yet.
I think I can do it.
Yeah, I haven't. I've only got most of my ships. I haven't got many ships left out there to manipulate the board. So
yeah, I actually can't do it. I don't have enough guys.
So this one would let me research level 3, but I only can jump 2 in the process, and yes, I can't do that. So, is there any other way of researching level 3? I don't have that technology. I guess there's this, but it costs. That's pretty pricey. Yeah, these are all very pricey. So, yeah, it's going to take at least 3 or 4 actions to even be able to open up that prerequisite. So I don't know that's going to happen. Okay, so oh wait, I have this action down here. That's level research level 4. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, don't have a lot of options here, to be honest. I think I might just take my chances with a level 3 tech. And hope there's something powerful in there. So I can gain a population, and that means that every 2 population at the end of the game will be worth a point. So I think that's worth it, because I need all the population I can get right now.
That's population in your stock?
In your not on your player board, but that you've actually claimed. So population cubes, not supply cubes. Every 2 of those is going to be worth a point at the end of the game, but that will probably only be 1 or 2 at this rate. We're both pretty tight on those. So this will let me gain ore. In fact, no, it won't give me any. It won't give me any ore. It'll give me 1 population, 1 ship, and jump 2. A little bit of everything, but no one thing is going to make much difference there. Whereas this will let me make a level 4 ship straight out of the gate. It's a little late to be manipulating that board right now. I think what I really need is to race the level vortex. So this will give me population, which is always good. So I think I'll dissect this. So build a ship here. Yeah, sure. And then jump 2. So that and that. So this lets me, I'll take up to 3, like refill your ore until you have 3. Well, I'm well over that. This does let me move a supply cube from the right to the left. So that will, again, give me a little bit of production bonus there. Now, what disc do I want? Again, I think I just double down on food. And so this will let me move a cube. Yep, let's do that. And then I'll take some people. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, I think this might give me the game.
Aha.
Yeah,
you got a pretty big lead there.
What's better? That's not necessary. This might give me more points. Are there any? There's no text that have no action spaces, are there? Other than column 1?
Some of them. I mean, I think 1 or 2 are like just immediate actions and no actual action spaces.
Right,
but most of them, I mean, especially when you have the option of 2, you'll be able to at least gain an action space.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm gonna play the odds then.
I would have had that if private technologies counted, mind you. Unfortunately, they do not.
They do not. No. I guess I'll take the person because
there we go. So final round has been triggered, and I've got one turn to catch up on 36 points lead. Oh my god! So there you have. It's a pretty big indication of the trap of running out of population. Okay, so what can I mean, I could colonize. I think is the biggest boost I'm going to get here because this is 6 points. This is 5 points. They both give me future benefit, like they give me discounts for future actions, but it's a little late now. So I think I just take this one for the points. I mean, researching level 3 would give me 3 points, but probably... Shush, I'll feed you when I'm done here. Okay, so let's just colonize this. Okay. No, yep. Surprisingly enough, that did not catch me up to your lead. Now, only 30 points ahead now. Not quite double.
Yeah. I guess I have one more action to take. What do I want to... I mean, I could take over a bunch of systems, I guess.
Yeah, it's worth noting that every system you control into the game is worth... I think it's 1 point, and that includes Deep Space and Sol. So you can't actually control them throughout the game, but you do get a point for having the most power there at the end of the game.
Right. Okay. I mean, I can go into Luton's star now.
That's true.
True. That requires 5. And that would just be... Oh, I don't get that last move, I guess. Alright. Get 2 jumps? Alright, that's good enough. And then it costs me 5 ore and 2 and 1 person to colonize a system. And I think I can do it.
Just drop it in.
Second disc. I can put a second disc down. All right, use the selected chips. Confirm. Let it be legal.
That's a yes.
Feels good.
Oh, wait, did it give me a... Oh, because I guess I'm last player. So I guess that was... Yeah, this is the final round. Okay. I didn't realize my last turn was in the same round as when you triggered endgame. So this is actually my final turn. Well, that may have made a different choice had I known that. But I mean, I could colonize. Oh no, that hasn't been unlocked. Huh. So I can't colonize again. But I could. Maybe now I think researching is probably the biggest benefit. So let's do that. We'll research. Where's... Oh, so that's not going to work. So controlling 3 or more spaces, that's not going to happen. So I could just take the expensive way since this is last turn, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll just research this. Okay, so wait, didn't tell me what the event was. Strange. Okay, so I can automate and jump 1. Not bad. Upgrade 3 ship levels. I mean, upgrading isn't going to make a difference right now, but 1 jump could let me take control of a system, I guess. So may as well do that. And automating is also a point as well. So I can take control of a system. Well, I'm not controlling this one, so I may as well take control of that one. Upgrade. What? Doesn't really matter. And now take a population because they are worth points into the game. So what's the damage here? Oh, a few bonuses there. Where'd that come from?
Oh, nice.
Okay, not quite as much of a difference as I was expecting, but still pretty rough. I don't know where all those points came at the end.
Yeah, maybe
I
some
got
of your planets.
6 points for... What is that? I got 6 points for TZ Arietis. Was that one of the ones I had colonized? Oh, you know what? Yeah, so this gives me points for... I get 1 point for every level 2-3 tech that I have researched. And I did take that thinking that was a decent strategy, but I guess that doesn't count that until the end of the game. So that was a slight boost, but not quite enough. Now, it's hard to say where I went wrong there, but I mean, falling into the trap of running out of population is a pretty big deal in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I ran right into it head first.
I will definitely say most games we play don't go this way. Well, this is my first 2-player game, so I guess that changes dynamics quite a bit. It's a more zero-sum. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun because you can play... The effects are more potent, I feel like, because you gotta hurt the other guy while prepping and setting yourself up to take over.
Yeah, and especially in the way you're building this tech tree. It's the same number of technologies, and only it's split between the 2 of you. And because you choose both the archetype and choose between the 2 that come up, you can really guide it towards a particular strategy that is going to benefit you more than your opponent. Whereas in a 3 or 4 player game, it's harder to make sure that it's chances are someone else is going to be able to make use of it. And there's 4 of you are spread across that same space. It's really harder to to carve out a niche for yourself. Where in a two-player game, you really can guide the game in one particular direction. Like I said, there's a lot of yellow and red technologies here, so a lot of military heavy uh, strategies. Whereas like the food production was pretty tight. Hence my inability to manage my population.
Yeah, for sure. I think I had a small lead at the beginning, and I just kept pressing it, and you ran into that rut
Mm.
at some point. So it probably just kind of escalated from there,
I
or
accelerated too
snowballed.
fast right into a planet.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't go for the tier twos nearly as early as you did.
Mm.
Sort of hung back.
Yeah, rushing that is a problem. Like I said, you can rush those, get the benefits, and it's kind of fun. Like getting a new technology, you never know what you're going to get. It's exciting. It's that discoverability, but you rush it too fast, and your engine just burns out.
Yeah, because I guess like the cubes, no, the discs stay on the planets that you settle,
Mm.
right? So you're really engine building there, or at least ramping up your resource production, and you get the cubes back. So there's two incentives for colonizing early and researching a little bit later, because I feel like you can kind of research at any time,
Mm.
and those small bonuses aren't that drastic.
What I really should have done is taken over this shipyard system because I had decent control at the start of the game and a whole bunch of ships, but they were
Yeah,
all down the bottom here, and like it was just took so long to maneuver them up. But if I been able to build them here instead and
yeah,
filter them out, that would have made a difference, perhaps.
yeah. I had the shipyard system control for probably three-quarters of the game, and that really, I mean, I felt
uh...
like cheating.
oh well,
Yeah.
GG.
GG, that was a fun one.
Yeah, no, hopefully we get to play this in person one day.
Yeah, I think to be honest, that was more fun than Iron Harvest, so I'm happy to play that.
Oh, well, we might. I'll keep an eye on that. I'm assuming it's a bug that it's not available right now. So maybe next week I'll do a solo stream or something and figure out something. But yeah, that's a fun game. So I
Right on.
mean, we've already announced what we're playing next. Well, sorry, our next podcast, which is dropping this coming Tuesday, which is going to be Architects of the West Kingdom. I got it. I think I've got the expansion behind me here, the Artisans expansion. So that's going to be dropping next Tuesday, and I think we might do a stream of that the following week because it's available on Tabletopia, so we can play that online.
Yeah, and last reminder, tomorrow is the cutoff date
Yes.
for the Cascadia Giveaway. We have more entries than we had last week, but you still only have a handful. So basically, you got a 1 in D6 chance
Roll those
of
dice.
getting yourself a copy of Cascadia. So thanks to those who've entered, and if you haven't yet, just put your name down. Why the heck not? Just send us a tweet with the clue, which is in episode 4, which is our latest episode as of today.
Yes, so that's the Iron Harvest episode. If you listen to that, there'll be details of how to enter for a copy of Cascadia. And I was literally just today. My wife and I went for a little adventure down to the hiking trails at the back here. I literally back right into the forest along a canyon here, so it's a pretty quintessential Cascadia there. So I was just out exploring today. So if you want to experience that for yourself with the board game, be sure to enter.
Right. If you follow
All three of
Daniel
you
on
can
Twitter,
listen.
you know that nature comes right to his back door in the form of
Yes,
raccoons.
I can literally smell the skunks right now.
Nice.
Also, thanks for following Just Czar just now. So yeah, welcome.
Oh, that was fun. All
Yeah,
right, let's play another game soon.
sure. Let me just. I know we've completely failed to raid properly the last couple of times, partly because people weren't online at the same time, but I also keep forgetting how that even works.